I actually visited the location of my favorite 100 famous views of Edo painted by Hiroshige Ando to see what the scene looks like today. 095 Horie and Nekozane Villages depicts the villages of Horie and Nekozane, which at that time were located across a narrow tributary of the Edo River that branched off downstream. First, please take a look at the wide area Applemap. This time, the setting is Urayasu city, surrounded by the red dotted line. Urayasu today, with its well-developed transportation network, is popular as a bedroom town close to Tokyo, but in the Edo period, this area can no longer be called Edo. It is also 14 kilometers away from Edo Castle. Please also see the Ukiyo-e map, although it is a little harder to understand compared to the Applemap. Let's cover this with a map from around 1878. You can see that the reclamation of Tokyo Bay has progressed amazingly since then. Please see the enlarged view from Applemap again. It seems that Hiroshige was looking northwest from around Nekozane to Chome, toward the current Tozai line and Urayasu station. The red gradient represents Hiroshige's viewpoint. See also the Ukiyo-e's light-colored map at about the same scale. I covered this with the map of 1878. I have included Hiroshige's viewpoint and the locations of Urayasu station on the Tozai line and the Urayasu IC on the expressway Wongan line to make it easier to understand the location. Across the Sakai River, Horie village was to the south and Nekozane village to the north, with Toyoku Shrine to the east. To the west of Horie village, the characters for Darenji Temple, Hajoin Temple and Siryu Shrine, which still exist today, can be read. Horie and Nekozane, 096. Was one of the first 5 pictures published in February 1856, as part of the 100 Famous Views of Edo series. Why did Hiroshige choose this lonely village with nothing around even in the Meiji era? Based on these considerations, we will take a closer look at Hiroshige's painting. First of all, the upper left is Mount Fuji, but it is not actually visible in this direction. Fuji is not actually visible in this direction. To see it, one must look further west. If you can see a mountain in this direction, it is the Chichibu mountain range. The triangular sail pillar seen in the white haze cloud is a takesbune anchored in the Edo River with its sails down. The pine forest in the center hides Darenji Temple, Hajoin Temple, and Siryu Shrine, and the group of houses in front of them is Horie village. The village on the right across the river is Nekozane village, and the Sakai River running between them acts like an inlet of the Edo River. It is firmly protected by wooden piles and functions like a harbor with many floating tea boats. These boats carried salt and shellfish to Edo. At that time, Aoyaji shellfish, Himage shellfish, from Nekozane village was a well-known specialty all the way to Edo. It is one of the indispensable ingredients in today's Edo mesushi as bakakage. Travelers from Kanode upstream would get off the boat here and walk to the right in the direction of Chiba. On the road to the right of Nekozane village, a father and son who appear to be fishermen returning to Nekozane village are depicted. Peeking out from the pine forest on the right is Toyoku Shrine. The original name of this unusual place, Nekozane, is said to have changed from Nekozane, which means not to pass over the roots, in reference to the wish that waves would not pass over the roots of the pine trees of Toyoku Shrine in this area, which often suffers from flooding. One of the boats carrying salt from Jayatoku, covered with straw mats, floats on the Sakai River. This boat will continue on to the Edo River, go a little further upstream, and now go west through the Onaji River, a canal flowing in from the left, to Nihonbashi Komicho. Tokugawa Ieyasu, who entered the Edo period, was thinking of securing a stable supply of salt in the suburbs of Edo in order to secure salt for the siege of Edo Castle. He turned his attention to Jayatoku, and since then, the salt fields in Jayatoku have been protected as a tehama. It is said that a canal called Onaji River was also excavated for its transportation. The hunters on the lower right are a pair of hunters targeting plovers gathered on the mudflats on the left. The rope depicted in the painting is the pull rope of a musonet, and the hunter on the right quickly pulls this rope when he sees plovers coming to him as decoys or bait, and then raises the net and puts it over the plover. Edo Bay, with its well-developed mudflats, was rich in shellfish. gobies, and other food for birds, and it seems to have functioned as a sanctuary for waterfowl. I actually visited this location. This is the current view of the city taken from the Ukiyo-e Bridge, a bridge over the Sakai River, beyond Hiroshige's point of view. However, Toyoke Shrine is not visible. I relied on the street view from Applemap. We also relied on Google Earth. I combined this Applemap with Google Earth, and then combined it with the Chichibu mountain range seen from the Arakawa River. Please forgive me if the mountains are not this close. I tried to fit this into Hiroshige's painting. It is a big forest, but I think you can get a sense of what it looks like today. You can see that at the time of Hiroshige, there was almost nothing but the villages of Nekozane and Horie, which have been transformed into a place where houses and buildings are crammed together. The salt fields of Jayatoku also came to an end in 1949. The boats that used to ply the Sakai, Edo, and Onaji rivers have now been replaced by trucks. The sea behind Hiroshige's viewpoint was reclaimed much further out, creating the town of Urayasu, a new Tokyo bedroom community, and at the tip of the sea, the Tokyo Disney Resort, a fairyland that attracts people from all over the world. Even now, snipes and plovers that migrate from as far away as Siberia and Mongolia in the fall rest their wings on the waterside of Kasai Rinkai Park and Funabashi sandbands in Tokyo Bay, which is gradually being restored. Aoyaji shellfish, once a specialty of Nekozane Village, now has Hokkaido and Chiba as its main production areas, and after the war, Urayasu is rather more famous for its clams. These grilled clams on skewers called yakima are expensive but very tasty. Now, why did Hiroshige introduce Horie and Nekozane in Chiba, which are not in Edo, at the top of his Edo 100 series? In 1859, after Hiroshige's death from an epidemic, a two-color illustrated book titled Fujimi Hyakumizu First Edition was published. In this book, Shimausa Horie and Nekozane is included, which has the same composition as 100 Famous Views of Edo. Originally, this picture was supposed to have more than 100 scenes, but it was finished with only 20 scenes, probably because Hiroshige passed away. In the preface to this picture book, Fujimi Hyakumizu First Edition, Hiroshige wrote that although Katsushika Hakusei's 100 Views of Mount Fuji was interesting in the way it was painted, Mount Fuji played a minor role, so I painted realistic Fuji in this book. This preface suggests that Hiroshige wanted to include Mount Fuji in the Edo 100 series, as he half-heartedly painted the mountain in the 100 Famous Views of Edo as well. If you look closely, you will see that the direction of Mount Fuji in Shimausa Horie and Nekozane in Fujimi Hyakumizu First Edition has been modified to the west direction so that it can be seen properly. Fuji in Shimausa Horie and Nekozane in Fujimi Hyakumizu First Edition has been corrected to the west direction so that it can be seen properly. However, Mount Fuji is actually located farther to the left. The 100 Views of Mount Fuji that Hiroshige compares is a series of black and white picture books consisting of 102 pictures of Mt. Fuji. The large format Nishiki-e Fugaku Sanjurakui, 36 Views of Mount Fuji by Katsushika Hakusei was put on sale in 1831 and became so popular that another 10 views were added to the 36 that had already been published. In fact, 100 Views of Mount Fuji was produced at the same time. In his preface, Hakusei wrote that he would live to be 100 years old, transcending his profession as an ukiyo-e artist to pursue a new world of painting. On the other hand, Hiroshige also published 36 Views of Mount Fuji in 1859, after his death. However, neither Horie nor Nekozane Villages appear in that series. Fuji in the foreground of Horie Village, Nekozane Village, and the Sakai River seems to have been a little too far away from the direction of the village. However, I can only imagine that Hiroshige, as a painter, respected Hakusei and wanted to be as close to him as possible.